Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you may be watching this transmission on this great planet of ours. It is I, Mike Martins, your housing discussion guru. And I'm kicking it off a bit early tonight because we got a lot on the go. Right now, Western Seaboard time, it is 6 p.m. and it is 9 p.m. on the Eastern Seaboard, Miami time. And it is like 1 in the morning in the UK, and it should be 11 a.m. noon in Australia, depending where you are. Covering all English-speaking countries that is suffering from these from this housing crisis, this economic buyout, this what do you call it nowadays? This fraud, this lie we've been feeding us. They've been feeding us this lie for the longest time. So, anyways, Opa is in the comment section, kicking us off live here. And I got a really lined up show today. So we're going to have Mario D on the show. He wants to cover a story on our show about what's happening with fake news in the housing development and lies. Then we're going to get Steve on real quick. Then after, we're going to get Mike in from Australia. That's covering the Westpac story in Sydney. That's happening in Australia. That's affecting all of Australia. And then we're going to try and get San Jose Boy on the show, who has been filming for the Mike Martins channel and actually getting out there and filming the 10 cities in San Jose. And then working on getting, I want to see if we could get, who is that? I don't know who that is. That's the 5th guest, and I hope I remember by, and the 6th guest is, we're going to have the Walking Journey on before we end the show's transmission, because there is a massive hurricane hitting right now, the Texas area. And he's in the middle of the hurricane right now. He's actually preparing and buying provisions for him and his family. So he's going to keep an eye out for us on what's happening there with this hurricane. It's actually a big deal. So we'll get him on the show on the 3rd hour if the lines aren't down by then, and the hurricane hasn't done too much damage. So it's going to make landfall in the next hour. So he's buying groceries with his family. So anyways, so I got a couple of guests lined up today in today's show. I got lots going on. And, okay, I'm going to get Mario D on the show. But before I kick off tonight's show, guys, I want to thank everyone for supporting us and tipping me on PayPal. I appreciate that. I want to thank Jazzy for tipping me and a couple other people that have been tipping me. That's really nice. It's nice. It adds up, and it helps keep this transmission going. I spent half my life on YouTube. If I was to actually break down what I make off YouTube and tips and all that stuff, and it works out to, I think it's like 22 cents an hour or 18 cents an hour. So yeah, that's really good. I want to appreciate everybody for their support. So before I kick off, I've been following the Seattle housing crisis for the longest time for you guys. And it says here, Seattle home prices drop $70,000 in 3 months as market continues to cool. You guys think I was kidding about this? You guys think I was joking that home prices are going to go down a lot? $70,000, not pesos. That ain't 70,000 pesos. That's 70 large US. That's like 85,000 Canadian dollars in 3 months. Mike in the Nights. Nope. Housing Guru. Welcome to Trends in the Housing Guru. Trends in the Housing Guru market. I want to thank everyone for joining me. So let's get Mario D on the ground here. The Lost Canuck. We need to know what the heck is going on. His channel looks like this if you haven't been on it. He's always uploading videos on what's happening on his neck of the woods. And he's covering this story tonight for us. Toronto Real Estate Board reminds agents they shouldn't fake sold info. Why would they do that? Because you know why? Because they could get away with it. In Canada, you can get away with a lot of stuff in Canada. And it boils down to morals. How do you feel inside? Your morals, the way you were raised, you know? All right, let me get him on the phone right now. Let's get him on the phone.
Hello.
Who the hell is this?
It is the Lost Canuck.
Buddy, how you doing? Everything okay?
Everything's fantastic. The news just keeps coming like hotcakes, baby.
Okay, so what are we talking about tonight? I got the article up in front of me. Before I kick that article off, can I please say something really quick before you start talking?
Yeah, go ahead.
Seattle home prices drop $70,000 in 3 months as market continues to cool.
Yes, baby.
$70,000 in 3 months. Okay, go ahead. I got the article. So yeah, go ahead.
This is very interesting. Just a week ago or 2 weeks ago, the Toronto Real Estate Board wanted to fight in court. Am I not right, Mike?
That's correct. Yeah,
they wanted to hold this thing secret. They didn't want nobody to know. They tried to keep it under the blanket. All of a sudden now they're trying to be the good cop. Now they're trying to say, okay, guys, you know what? You got a license from us, our governor body. We are the governor body. Don't give them any more fake sold info. So my opinion is to all the listeners out there, to anybody out there, this is pure fraud. What they're going to do now is they're not going to give any information. That's what they're going to try to do. They're going to give us very little pieces of it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So my opinion is, what I'm thinking is all the sites that we know of are going to be shut down.
Wow. When do you forecast that happening?
It's going to be happening probably, I'd say, in the middle of October and beginning of November. They're going to shut these things down because now the TREB is already invested in a lot of real estate, we all know, and it's going to be a problem for them. So they're going to try to hide it for a lot of people. We need to, and if you recall, Mike, I don't know if you know, I follow the tribunal in Ontario.
That's right.
Yeah, they actually had a court case with the Toronto Star and with the biggest union in North America that the union didn't want to, submit some information, but the courts put it on the Toronto Star side, saying that all news and media or information could be open to the public. So mm-hmm. They have 1 year to get this information out. The judge has already ordered that in Ontario. So this is part of tribunal. And if these real estate agents think that they're going to be able to do this, I think somebody has to step up to a plate.
Oh,
We're talking
sure.
a big political person, somebody that's going to go there and fight it, because I don't see this happening for them. Like I said, they're playing good cop, bad cop now. Mm-hmm. And we have to see some real estate and mortgage people go to jail and be accounted for.
Well, yeah, people.
This is unbelievable.
Someone definitely needs to do time for this.
That's right. That's right. And so, there's another thing I want to talk about. I don't know if you've ever been to the mall in Markham. It's called Pacific Mall.
No, I haven't made it out there. It's a newer mall, right?
Yeah, it's mostly Asian owned. Hey, listen, like I said on your station, on my station, I don't criticize any nationalities. A lot of good Asians I know mm-hmm. that run businesses, pay taxes and whatever. Mm-hmm. God bless them. But this place here should have been shut down in 2005. It's called the Pacific Mall Condo Corporation.
Yeah.
And what they did is they got raided again yesterday, and they've been raided about 5 times already with fake items. Fake, Lululemon bags, let's say, or jackets or stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Taped movies. And these guys are in the real estate too, and I'm going to find out the next time I call into the show so I can find out what they invested in. But I don't want to go off topic. So what do you predict? What do you predict what's going to happen with this TREB? What do you think is happening now?
I'm going to tell you what's happening. They did a very good job disguising what's been happening in the last 3 to 5 years.
That's right.
And this is a bigger problem because let's go back to the Seattle article. The second they imposed the foreign buyers tax in Vancouver, 50% of the investors went to Seattle and 50% went to Toronto. Okay? But they've been doing a really good job hiding what's really happening in Toronto. In the U.S. side, right now, I'm reading the article from 2 days ago, they're up front and center with what's really happening. God forbid any major real estate operation goes out and creates an article like this one saying home prices in Toronto dropped by 70,000. You know what I'm saying? They won't do that. They won't post that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you have to get that?
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. So they what's going to happen is when the poop hits the fan, it's going to be a lot worse than we could imagine.
What? Sorry, say it again, Mike?
When the poop hits the fan in Toronto, it's going to be a lot worse than you could ever imagine because they did a really good job hiding their tracks, massaging the investor, making people feel that everything's okay, and the market became severely overstimulated.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Because remember that Toronto and Vancouver have a couple of years ahead of Seattle and other states that are falling right now. So,
yeah, that's right.
So they've been building. Vancouver's been building since the Olympics, the Vancouver Olympics.
That's right.
So we're in a lot of trouble because because none of us were told anything. And you know, with the record low interest rates, record low lending, and really shitty loans that were made, mortgage loans that were awful mortgage loans that people shouldn't have not qualified that were put into the position. And that's what's happening right now.
Unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And then I had one guy on my YouTube send me a message, and he said, you know, you should, you know, me, you, and everybody our age should be owning 2-3 houses.
Yeah, for sure.
I just want to tell the listeners something, and I'm proud where I stand right now. I've lost everything back in 2009 and 10. Okay. Because of bad decisions, bad business. And you know what? Somebody has to take a loss. Not everybody gains. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I have the knowledge, the wisdom, and the experience. And that's what gets me to go on this, and that's what gets me and you go on this station, and we decide to tell people the truth and what's going on, how they're hiding it, I know everything. And it's funny, Mike, because even I didn't go to school. I'm a dummy. Okay? I'll go in a lawyer's office and he's telling me something. Hey, listen, you can't tell me this stuff because I know more than you. You're just following the book. I know the ins and outs of everything.
Yeah.
And I tell everybody out there, if you're going to go purchase a house, which I recommend you not to today, make your own contract with the lawyer. You put down, you're paying your lawyer, you tell him what you want on there.
That's correct.
If he doesn't do it, go to somebody else. Go to somebody else. These people that bought these new homes should have said it. If the houses market starts to drop 20, 30% or 10%, I want my deposit back within 30 days. And I bet you 2 years ago, builders would have signed that out of a heartbeat because they didn't think that this was going to happen. They never thought that this crash was going to come all at once.
Yep.
And that's the problem. And it just bothers me how people are walking with sunglasses and Kool-Aid, thinking everything's going to be okay. But no, it's not going to be a soft landing. It's going to be a bomb. A big bomb. Yeah. And then everybody, what happened?
Oh, what happened? We weren't informed. Well, you see, in the U.S., for some bizarre reason, they're always informed. The news, when it comes to housing, when it comes to making decisions, like, look at this. Seattle home prices dropped 70,000 in 3 months. Imagine we posted that on the Toronto Star or the Vancouver Sun or the Sydney Morning Herald in Australia. They would never post something like this.
That's right. That's right. And it's funny it's happening in Seattle. Do you remember when I told you when Mr. Marlowe and Justin Trudeau went to Seattle to sign an agreement with, forced more Mr. What's his name? Berkshire's Development.
Yeah.
What's his name? He went there to make a deal so he can bail out Home Capital.
That's correct.
And it's funny that happened in Seattle. It's just funny. It all links in because for you to do that in Seattle, you must have had investments there.
That's correct.
To push up the market. Yeah, to push up the market, a fake market. and make some quick bucks, and they did it there. And I wish they could put them to jail because they created this. Like I said, you said it, and I said it. It should have happened 3 times already. But this home capital shouldn't be in business as we speak.
That's right.
They should have their doors closed, return all their money, all the investors, whatever they have, and they're shut down. But no, they're still operating. Full force.
Let me ask you something. Let me ask you something a little bit more personal.
Yeah.
Are people becoming more and more soulless now? They don't have a soul. Are they have people sold out or selling themselves out to money and forgetting about each other?
That's why I love you, brother. You said it on your channel one time. You said the money is the Antichrist. Okay? You said it on your last video I watched. How people, you fear God. Oh, buddy, I'm in the same boat as you. Mm-hmm. If God would ever leave my side, I'd be the worst person to be near. Mm-hmm. I'd be I'd be scared. Mm-hmm. I'd be scared every day. But, yeah, you're right. People forget where they come from, how they're brought to earth, how they become. We have to respect money. I've learned that through my time. Mm-hmm. If you don't respect money and you respect what you earn, yeah, okay. You're maybe making minimum wage, or you're making $20 an hour. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, and God rest my mother's soul, my mother said it. It doesn't matter how much money you make; it's how much you save. Mm-hmm. And I understand it's not easy to live in Toronto, not easy to live in Barrie, but at the same time, do we really need what we want today? Do we really need the necessities that we overspend every time we go to the store? You got 2 pairs of shoes, one to go out at night to a wedding, the other running shoes, and a comfortable pair of shoes. Do you need to go and spend another pair of shoes? Yeah. You got to go and buy a new car when your car is only 2-3 years old and it still can go for another 120,000 clicks. Like, we always said it, me and you. I have a 1999 Toyota Camry. Mm-hmm. I don't have to pay anybody. That car runs, and it runs like clock. Mm-hmm. I don't have to go and pay every month. Unless I need a new car, I will go buy a car. Okay. But I will never pay the top dollar.
Yeah, someone's saying money is the root to many evils, and then someone's saying money is not the Antichrist, and it takes money to make money. We're not talking about making money. We're talking about wasting money, and
right.
we're talking about people ripping other people off blindedly with these real estate sales, shadow loans, and all this garbage.
That's right. And that person that said money's not an Antichrist, he better shake his head, because if you look at all these real estate...
No, he came back to say it's the love of money that is the root of all evil. That's correct. The love of money.
Yes, correct. Yeah. Correct, 100%.
That's my man, Brother John. That's my man, Brother John.
Okay, that's fine. And that's the problem, Mike. That's the problem we have everywhere we go. And you said it 100 times. People paying with credit cards. People paying with this, paying with that. Oh, and another thing I wanted to say. To all the listeners out there that have a Capital One credit card.
Yep.
You can go on their internet. They're actually suing their customers that are not paying their credit cards.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. It's so interesting to see when a company like that is doing that, they know that they're running out of money. They're taking desperate measures to make sure that they don't fall apart. They're scaring the people to make sure they pay, because what they did is they invested into everybody. People that had scores under 600, they gave credit cards. 550, credit cards. Now they're going after them in courts. And they're going to be tying them up in courts.
Wow,
Canada,
they even have web pages, options to consider when Capital One sues to collect. Oh my God. They're even making up websites on what to do if they call you.
Yeah. So I tell everybody that has Capital One not to ruin your credit, but if it's already ruined, don't pay it. Don't pay it. Let them go broke. Yeah. I said it to my last videos. I said the only way you can stop these banks from operating is everybody decides on the same business day to go take all your money out and close all your accounts.
That will cause a runoff on the banking system.
That's right. And then you'll have the people run the banks again. Not the CIBC that's run by a very wealthy, rich Chinese entrepreneur. He owns CIBC. Mm-hmm. He's the one that put part of this housing bubble the way it is by giving students that came from overseas to put 20% down, but not to verify income or verify anything else but a 20% down, and they give them the house.
That's
but me and you, we can't get a mortgage.
Yeah, remember that story? I was going to put 50% down, and they said no.
Jesus Murphys.
And I have I have good credit. My wife has good credit. We own everything free and clear. Our vehicles. I own my company free and clear. I have no debts owing on the company.
God bless you, man. God bless you.
Yeah, and
I hope more comes.
Yeah. Well, I hope God hears you. You know what I'm saying? So,
yes.
How you feeling generally in health-wise? You okay? Everything okay?
Everything's fine, buddy. Everything's fine. I was going through a little bit of a depression 2 weeks ago, but seeing somebody and getting back into my faith, and it's helping me out a bit. It was a rough ride, and it's not because of finances or that. It was more my kids are getting older. I was more involved when my kids were all small. It's like they're on their own life, and it kind of depressed me in a way. Because it's like they don't want to talk, or they just talk too minimal. You know, they get that at that age, and it's funny.
Yeah.
It's just funny. Social media is killing all these kids today.
Yeah, social media.
The bloody phone is killing everybody.
Hey. Do you think maybe you could do a bit of research on that? The phone, social media, destruction of family. Maybe we could do a Mike in the Night show about it.
Yeah, I will.
On a Saturday.
I will.
We'll do a Saturday night show together, and you could co-host it with me. Destruction, social media, destruction, and family.
You better believe we will, buddy. For you, I'll do anything. And the other thing I want to talk about, Mike, is I actually talked to somebody out in Florida, a pastor. His name's Todd, and his wife's Pauline. She writes a couple books about dreams and vision. I was talking to them, and they actually said Mike the Night. He's actually one of your subscribers from Florida.
Really?
Yeah, it was so funny. And I said, I go on his show once in a while. He came to Toronto, and he lived in Miami, and he was shocked to tell that. And I said, why don't you call the show? Talk to him, say a prayer for him, whatever you want to do, talk to him.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just want to say hi to them. God bless them, and good people.
And he lives, and he watches my show, Mike in the Night, eh?
Yeah, that's what he told me.
Holy smokes.
That's what he told me.
Holy smokes.
Small world. Anyway, Mike, I don't want to keep you going. You get these other guys, tell Steve the plumber to hurry up and call, because I want to hear that voice.
Yep, I got a couple of people lined up for tonight's show, so tune in. And before the end of the night, we're gonna call into Anthony, who is in Texas right now, where there's a hurricane. He's shopping for groceries right now because the hurricane's gonna hit ground in about an hour.
Oh wow!
So we're gonna we'll get an update on what's happening there.
We're gonna make some prayers for them, buddy.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Okay, brother. Have a good
buddy,
night.
We'll talk. Okay.
God bless you.
You too, buddy. God bless, man.
Bye.
Ciao.
Okay, guys. That was Mario DeSetti. He's a Lost Canuck. Don't forget to check him out. He is a really good guy. He's on the ball. He understands what's going on around him. It's called life experience, and we're gonna get Demise music on the show later. He's gonna go pick up his girlfriend from work, so we'll have him on the show later tonight. We're gonna get. I want to get Mike in Sydney. I hope he's ready to talk to me, Mike Hayden in Sydney, because we need to cover what's happening here. Christ, where did that article go? There's like a zillion articles here. Oh man, where are you? Where is he? Westpac exposed to potential lawsuit over billions of dollars in irresponsible home loans. So, you guys, too much garbage is being thrown on the books. Just way too much garbage on the books. And I need to know what the heck is happening out there. And then we also got Steve STP is going to be on the show. And I got someone else listed here for the 5th guest, and I can't... I put the initials. I did not put the full name down, and I feel really bad. So if you're supposed to be a guest on the show tonight, can you call me or message me that it's you? Because I got a lot going on, and it's really tough to run this thing on your own, you know what I'm saying? Especially when you get a panel of people on the show. It gets pretty tough doing everything on your own, right? But I'm trying my best, to keep it going, flowing for you guys. But, I got a message here from somebody. Oh, so we're gonna get Mike Hayden cancel on us tonight because, unfortunately, he's got a migraine coming on. Damn it, damn. I wanted to know what was happening there. Hey, Stephen Thomas. Let's see if he's on the phone here. Maybe we could get him on the phone later. Anyways, okay, so someone dang000 says garbage. Then Bordy, oh, good old Bordy's on the comment section. Damn, this market is scary. Oh man, you have no idea. And then Dang says, yeah, you don't know when it will crash. So yeah, it's not that we know it will crash, but. And then Bordy says, sometimes I want to just irritant. Everything is fine, but Mike keeps me awake. Yeah, but he's got a good channel here, guys. You should check out his channel. He's got a good channel here where he does his own thing in Vancouver. He lives on the coast. I should go out and visit him sometime, see how he's doing. But let's do a follow up really quick with we'll do a quick follow up with Anthony, and then we'll let him go real quick. We just need to know what he's doing. Let's find out where this hurricane's at. We got to cover this. This hurricane's actually a big deal. Let's see where it's tracking at right now. Here it is right now. Okay, it's heading this way. This is from 6 minutes ago. Ah, so depressing. You know, I remember being in a lot of... Oh, yeah, it's going right into here, man. But he's in Texas, so... Oh, these are mandatory evacuation areas. Oh, wow, that's not good. That's not good at all. Okay, mandatory evacuation. There must be another something else happening somewhere else, because he says there's a big hurricane on his way, and it's hitting there, and we'll keep him in the in our prayers. You know what I'm saying? Oh wow, look at that. Oh, it's hit. This one's gonna go off the coast of Florida. Yeah, Hurricane Florence. Oof, that's a big deal. We'll give him a call right now as we wait for Steve the plumber to arrive at home. Let's see how he's doing in that, what he's doing in that situation right now. Let's get him on the phone. Guys, this is live, so guys, remember, this is, okay, where are we? Elemental PQR. Let's give him a call and see where he's at. If he got his groceries yet. Yeah, what goes up was what must come down. A lot of people in the comment section. Oh, you're getting a fuzzy line here. It must be the weather.
Mike?
Hey, did you buy groceries?
No, man. I'm really starting. I'm really half through.
Oh, you're halfway through. Okay, we're just keeping up. How is it? Are winds picking up there?
A little bit. Starting to feel like a cool breeze, which is kind of unusual. It's overcast.
Wow.
I mean, I can see dark clouds in the distance.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll call you back in another hour to get an update on what's happening. Okay?
Hey, are you live right now?
Yeah, I'm live right now.
Hey, what's up, everyone? How's everybody doing?
Yeah, Anthony here from the Walking Journey channel. Check him out. He's got a new truck driving job, and we gotta support the guy. You know what I'm saying? And
hey, man, I'm getting a lot of thumbs down. I was always only getting 4 like you, but now I'm getting like 20 and 10 at a time, man.
Yeah, it's a lot of haters out there, dude. A lot of haters out there. Don't sweat it. Don't.
I think they're probably Hillary and basement dwellers, voters, and all those kind of people. And you know, guys that are like 40 years old. Oh no, I'm not gonna go there. Anyways,
okay.
Go and subscribe to Walking Journey and Mike Martin. Thanks, Mike.
Okay, we'll keep in touch with you. Okay.
All right, thanks. Bye, man.
Okay, bye.
Later.
Yeah, we'll call him back in another hour, see how he's doing there, because he's actually taking care of business right now. And okay, let's get our next guest on the show here. Okay, so we got Buddy in Australia that can't be on the show. I really wanted him to cover this Westpac crap for us. Where did that thing go? This is a big deal, guys. I've been talking about bad loans on the books, and a lot of bad loans on the books. You're going to start to see things fracture. This was posted 2 hours ago. Let me see who I could get on the show on the last second here in Australia. Let's see if I could get Buddy here. Let's get Steven, if he's around.
The person whom you're trying to reach is currently on a...
Okay, so he's not on right now. Hopefully he comes on later. So let's cover this ourselves. Westpac exposed to potential lawsuit over billions of dollars in irresponsible home loans. Westpac could be sued by its customers, funders, and investors after admitting it breached responsible lending laws and separate finding that it lacked appropriate lending controls. Guys, this is not good. I mean, there's a lot of misled people. I really, really hope, hand to God, that people start getting their money back or start getting damages, start getting fulfilled or okay. So let's go to the key points here. A principal at Maurice Blackburn says Westpac admissions has exposed the company to civil action. Westpac admitted more than 10,000 mortgages were issued that should not have been approved. That's a lot of bad package deals. That's a lot of bad deals, guys. And Lindsay David and the LF Economics says APRA's targeted review findings were never meant to be made public. What? We weren't supposed to find this out? What? It was supposed to be a secret that 10,000 mortgages shouldn't have not been on the books? Anyways, I am 40-year-old man. Someone's asking how old I am. I am 40-year-old man. I have no wrinkles, though. Anyways, I'm going way off topic here. So, I'm trying to get Stephen Thomas in Australia, in Melbourne, on the phone, but he's not answering. And let me see if I could get Fred Hamilton on the phone in Sydney. See if he picks up. Oh, it's ringing. Add me on Skype, people. I'll be bugging you on Skype. Well, hopefully they'll call back and see that I've tried calling. And who else is available in Australia to give us a breakdown on what is happening here? No, nobody's online right now. Everybody, come on, it's lunchtime there. Wake up, people. I was waiting on the other room. The one you had scheduled for 11:30. I don't answer my phone. I just let it go to voicemail. Oh, okay, never mind. Buddy's at work. Never mind. Sorry. I thought it was like 2 in the afternoon. Oh, yeah, you're at work. It's 2 in the afternoon. I'm sorry. It's not the weekend. What am I thinking? No big deal. Opa Leviti says, call me, Mike. Do you have an issue? Where are you? Where do you live? Is there a housing... yeah, give us some information in the comments where you're at or what's going on so I have something to say, you know? I hate cold calling. I don't mind cold calling. Yeah, so Demise Music will be back, and we'll have him on the show to talk about what is happening with his situation in San Jose. So let's continue with this. The bank recently reached $35 million settlement with the corporate watchdog ASIC after admitting an automated decision-making system for home loans. Why would you have an automatic decision-making system for home loans? This is the most important investment you'll ever make in your life, and you have an automated decision-making system? Are you out of your tree? What, you can't find someone that could look over a credit score and look over gaps on file, look over inquiries, underwrite the deal properly, get a proper appraisal out there so we could pull comparables? What's wrong? And then someone says, Purgosu says, let's take a break from the markets. I'm just saving up money and buying with cash when I get enough. So won't be a while. Mortgage or scams? Yeah, when I bought this house, I bought it free and clear. I saved a bunch of money for a down payment in a house in Vancouver for a house, and then I'm not gonna put down, let's say, $600,000 and then still have $1 million mortgage to pay on top of the $600,000. Screw that. Screw that. So let's go back to the story here. These admissions expose Westpac to civil action by individuals who were provided with too much credit and inappropriately so during their application for a loan. Josh Menon, a principal of plaintiff law firm Maurice Blackburn, told the ABC, in circumstances where people find themselves in default, default on their mortgages, they will be able to bring an action against Westpac potentially for breaches of reasonable lending laws. So they're putting a lot of junk on the books, and this is a big effing problem. Because it's the consumer that suffers, not the bank. The banks just get bailed out. The consumer fails, guess what happens? Or the consumer doesn't make it or whatever, guess what happens? It just does, it's not good. So it is early days in relation to any class action, but I don't think anyone who has been following this could seriously rule out the possibility of class action being brought. International investors in the wholesale money markets who funded Westpac mortgages or invested in residential mortgage-backed securities underpinned by its loans could also have a cause to sue in the future if default rates rise. There's going to be a lot of defaults coming up, guys, especially with them having to raise interest rates. There's no other way around it. You know what I'm saying? So let's keep going here. There is an argument that the international wholesale lending community, who gave these banks a lot more money than they probably would have had they known that the banks did not have these controls in place, would have grounds for legal action. Last year, in a response to allegations of mortgage fraud and manipulation by major Australian banks, the Australian Prudential Regulation Authority commissioned a series of confidential targeted reviews of major banks. The reviews probed that data and systems of Westpac uses assets applications ability to serve housing loans. The findings on Westpac were damning. 8 out of 10 of its core lending controls were found to be ineffective in their operation. Most were also poorly designed. The consequence was Westpac lacked effective measures to accurately assess the existing debts and expenses of home loan customers or properly assess their ability to service loans. There were limited controls in place to ensure that borrower declared living expenses were completely and accurate. Audit firm PwC, which conducted the review for APRA, concluded. With interest rates at historic lows, Arrears and default rates on Westpac's mortgage book are low despite the adverse filings. Westpac maintains the loans which were the subject of $35 million settlement with the ASIC are performing well. The question is whether this will continue when interest rates rise and borrowers face potential double whammy of rising rates and a falling property values. So that's usually what happens, guys, and they coincide with each other. It's a very long article. So basically, it's not good. It's not good. It's not good because once you start packaging and putting together bad loans or packaging bad deals, a lot of people suffer. A lot of people end up suffering big time. So let's see if we can get a hold of... I wonder if Steve is ready. It's almost 10 o'clock. He might be ready. I'm not sure. 10 o'clock Eastern time. We still have... Demise Music is picking up his girlfriend at work. And who else do I got on the show tonight? Man, we lost our Australian guest to a migraine. Damn you, migraine headaches. And I am having troubles reaching anybody tonight. Man, I had so many people listed. I got another guy on a ferry, with his car on a ferry going somewhere. I wanted to get him on the show. He really wants to be on the show. He's in downtown Vancouver, and he has a lot to tell me. But he's on a ferry right now. He said he can't do it right now. And then... I'm just trying to see who we could get... I'm just trying to see who I could get in here that would know this. The only person I know that would know this is Stephen Thomas, but he is not picking up either, so I can't get him on the horn either. But mind you, it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon or 1 o'clock in the afternoon in Australia right now, so it's kind of a weird time because everyone's working. Damn you, work! Okay, so let's get some articles out of the way here. Canada housing market among the world's weakest as price growth hits 9-year low. This was posted a couple of hours ago. This is actually somewhat of a big deal. There is 12-month change, 6-month change, and 3-month change. And these percentages are nuts. You know why? Because it has every country on the planet. Look at every country's here. Okay, so it starts with Malta, Hong Kong, Latvia, Slovenia, Hungary, Turkey. Where the hell's Canada? Iceland. I don't see Canada here. Am I blind? Oh, there it is. Ooh, wow, it's 37th. Wow. It's below the UK. Wow. So the UK seeing massive. There's the percentage change in housing there. So Malta's up. The prices in Malta are going up. Hong Kong's going up. Latvia's going up. Slovenia's going up. Hungary's going up. Ireland, Turkey, Mexico, Singapore, Netherlands, Croatia, Bulgaria, Republika Czech, Colombia, Iceland, New Zealand, Estonia, Romania. So these are the percentages. They're going up by quarter. So here is the last 12 month, there's the last 6 month, and then there's the last 3 month. So this is Q1 and Q2 of 2018. And then the first one is Q2 of 2017 and Q2 of up to Q2 of 2018. What a massive change in prices. Wow. In a matter of a year, the entire friggin' world is on a tailspin downward. And that's what I keep telling you guys. This is a world global disaster. And it's all rooted to housing and economic takeovers. Canada is a third world country. We need to have someone on the show on Mike in the Night so we could actually talk about what is happening in Canada and why are things headed on this downward spiral. Wow. For better or worse, 2018 seems to have marked the turning point in Canada's closely watched housing market. And here's one effect of that. We can no longer count ourselves among the countries with the world's hottest residential real estate. That's my accountant. And I don't want him to be live on the show. I will call him tomorrow. Just my accountant getting my GST done for the year. He's probably calling me to give me some good news. Okay, so Canada tumbled to 37th place as the largest global ranking of housing markets from commercial real estate firm Knight Frank. From 5th place in the same survey a year early, that places firmly bottom half of 57 countries surveyed. So there it is. All the countries with massive changes. So 12 months ago to 6 months to 3 months. Wow. Where's America? Man, they're not even on. I gotta be. I'm blinding here. Let me see here. Where's America? Malta, Hong Kong, Latvia, Slovenia, Ireland, Turkey, Mexico, Singapore, Croatia, Bulgaria. I don't see the United States. Oh, you're right. United States 21st. So right now in this quarter right now, they're at 2.8%. At the beginning of Q2 of 2017, the United States was sitting at. I keep losing it. Okay, United States was at 6.2% at Q2 2017, and then right now, Q2 2018, they're only at 2.8% growth. Wow! Like everything is on a tailspin of a decline. Kevin Thompson in the house. Kevin Thompson. Hey, you want to be on the show, Kevin Thompson? You seem to know what's happening a lot in Toronto. I'd like to know if you'd like to be on the show too. I want to get Steve the Plumber on. Let me see if I could get a hold of him. We already spoke to Walking Journey, and we got boots on the ground on what's happening in the hurricane there. He's shopping for groceries with the family because he's preparing. He might get some power outages. I don't know, but let's see if I could find him here. Here he is. Let's see if he could come on the show. I hope he didn't get arrested.
Hello.
Steve.
Hey.
How are you?
How are you?
Good. Are you busy, buddy?
At the moment, yeah. Can I give you a call back? Are you going on? Are you going on the call now? Or what?
Yeah, I'm live right now. I just called you because it should be 10 o'clock your time. Oh, 6. Oops, I'm early. Okay, I'll call you back in 15 minutes.
Not a problem. Thanks. Bye.
Okay, bye. So it sounded like Steve was in the middle of something, probably getting a bubble bath. John Patterson's in the comment section. Hey, Mike, looking forward to another informative show. Kevin Thompson says, I have called before. Guys, add me on Skype, Mike Martins, 1980. Mike, M-I-K-E-M-A-R-T-I-N-S, 1980. If you don't have Skype, it's free. It works perfectly. It's one of the clearest sounding apps that I have when it comes to calling people in an international level. And, yeah, I'm just going over everybody here that's potential. Everybody's tied up today. Everybody is seriously busy today. I had a couple of housing experts in Vancouver that wanted to be on the show. They're tied up. So I'll do it alone for now. So let's look at here. So look at this, guys. So these are all the pricing changes for Q2 of 2018. Really good article. Very informative. You guys should check this out. It's got pretty much every country there. And that's me on Facebook. You guys could fan my fan page or message me on my fan page if you want. There's my fan page right here. It's in Portuguese, though, so nobody freak out. So there's a little blurb on the right of what I'm about, what I've done in Portuguese Africa and in Brazil, in Portuguese-speaking countries. So check it out. Let's move on here. Add me to Instagram. The photograph thing is pretty cool. You know, I joined a while back, but I never really used it till recently. So, okay. this was sent to me. I'm not sure what this means. I mean, okay, I know what a rebate is, but NDP is the political party that's in power here in British Columbia. Promise of $400 renters rebate turns to 5.5%, 4.5% rent hike. So there's a renter's rebate, and then they're just going to raise rents. The BC government approved rent increase cap of 4.5% next year. Inflation plus 2% will be hard on many renters. Oh yeah, 4.5% is a lot. You know what I'm saying? Rosella Bernard has had a tough enough time finding an affordable apartment in Vancouver area for her and her daughter without facing the 4.5% rent hike next year. Guys, why are they doing this? It's what's the point? Like, I get it, you're making more money, but I get the logic behind it, but you're destroying people's lives. Okay, let's keep going here. Working on it. 50,000 jobs lost in Canada. Yo, working on it. Add me to Skype right now. Get Skype for your phone. I don't care if you don't have Skype. You add me to Mike Martin's 1980. Working on it. I need to have you on the show because you're in Alberta. I need to know what's going on there with prices. Steve will call up soon. Working on it. Add me on Skype right now. Message me on Skype. Mike Martin's 1980. I need to have you on the show. Because you're in Alberta and there's weird things happening there with the housing market. And there's a lot of job losses happening right now in the province of Alberta. So a lot of people might want to know what's going on because a lot of people fleeing the coast. Mike Martin's 1980. Yeah, that's it right there. And yeah. A lot of people fleeing the coast to interior cities in BC and Alberta because they're fleeing this crap, this piece of crap that's happening here. So 4.5% rent hike next year. That could be like $70, $100 more per month, depending on what you're paying for rent. If you're paying $1,000 a month, okay, which is unheard of because that's so low, you're paying an extra $45. If you're paying $2,000 a month, which is the regular going rent in Vancouver, you're going to pay an extra $90 a month. That is horrible. It's really hard budgeting for rents, said Bernard. She moved into an emergency shelter with daughter Sapphire, 15, at the end of August, when she could no longer afford the $2,400 rent at her last apartment. Oh my goodness, why is this happening? Bernard, who's attending the Native Education College in BC Justice Institute to become a paramedic, has a housing allowance and can afford $1,300 a month, but has been unable to find a suite. She was disappointed to learn that once she starts working and paying rent, she will have to factor in yearly hikes. Holy smokes. The single mother and her daughter are among those for whom the recently government-approved rent increase cap of 4.5% next year, inflation plus 2%, will be tough to handle. The average rent for a two-bedroom apartment in Metro, according to Canada Mortgage Housing Corporation rent report from November 2017, which is out of date, is $1,860, but empty units were going for $2,100. But PadMapper.com puts the average rent for a two-bedroom apartment around $3,400, and a one-bedroom apartment is $21. That's correct. Because the article I got for you guys up the other day, the city of Vancouver declares $3,400 a month as affordable rent. Here, I'll bring it up so you know I'm not talking out of my butt here. Let's see if it comes up. Right here. Sorry, $3,700. Just so you know I'm not talking out of my rear end here. City of Vancouver now defines $3,702 rent as affordable housing. And this is coming from a reputable paper in the downtown core. So, a lot of people say I make up stuff on this show so more people could watch. It's right here. That's why I got the articles open to my left. Or my right. Or your left from my right, or depending on the left or right, how you're watching this. Kevin Thompson's asking, is now a good time to buy? All right, let me see if I got a message from Skype from working on it. Who is in Alberta right now? I guess she's installing Skype still. But I just wanted to throw this out there, guys, because it's very, very, very... very important, guys. Okay, somebody's calling me. Hello? Hello? He's calling me. Hello?
Hey, Mike.
Oh my god, it's working on it.
That's me.
Oh my god, I'm so happy to hear from you. I finally get to hear your voice. You've been commenting on my videos for years now.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yes.
Oh my god, Mike. I love your channel. I love how you tell the truth. I need you to know about Alberta because we are in the shit can right now.
So what's happening?
Okay, so apparently 50,000 jobs were lost in, I think it was 50,000 jobs were lost in Canada, but I know we lost at least 10,000 jobs in Alberta.
In the oils?
From the pipe?
And the oils?
Yes.
So real jobs. So we're talking real jobs were lost.
Yes, not just part-time jobs.
Oh god. Okay, continue.
Yeah. So, basically, the MDP doesn't really care about the trans pipeline type of thing. They don't like oil. They want some kind of, I don't know if you heard, energy efficient. Our premier doesn't really care about the trans pipeline. I don't know. She's kind of a socialist type of thing. She's not helping our economy. So a lot of tradesmen, because Alberta has a lot of tradesmen, right?
Right.
Tradesmen, engineers, a lot now they're working as a safety watch or flagging with me, because I flag 3 days a week here in Edmonton.
Yeah. So
a lot of them went from making $45 an hour. One of them was saying he was making $140,000 a year last year as an electrician. Now he's making the same as me, $20 an hour.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
So
okay.
all the tradesmen I know, because I work as a safety watch as well. I worked as a safety watch with Suncor, out of work. Even their non-union guys, very little work. Union, non-union, everyone is at a standstill. I also work as a waitress at a strip club. No one's tipping. No one's coming in. Like there'd be like 7 guys in the entire club for the entire last night.
Wow.
Yes.
That's gotta hurt.
Rent is cheap. Yes, rent is cheap, but no one has money.
Yes.
There is no money. No one has money. Yeah, rent is cheap because there's no money. I have friends of mine who used to be strippers and waitresses. Went and gotten a second job at Tim Hortons. I have a friend who was a journeyman welder. He's a security guard at the mall, and he makes $18 an hour.
Wow.
Yeah, he was a journeyman welder, actually a Red Seal welder.
Holy, that's super high end.
Yes. So our house is coming down because no one has the money. Like when I moved out of my old apartment downtown Edmonton,
yeah.
My landlord offered me the house. She's like, you can take over the mortgage, blah 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 blah, for my little box apartment, which I love. I love my apartment. It was only $750 a month. She wanted me to take over the mortgage and keep paying $750 a month and own the house. I'm like, you know what? No, plumbing sucks here.
Yeah.
You cost you $1,000 to fix the plumbing. You won't do that. So I don't want to own a house at this point right now. I'm too broke.
Yeah.
So about Edmonton, about Alberta, a lot of people losing their houses.
Okay.
I know you talked about Calgary for a bit on the show, because people from Vancouver are moving to Calgary. Calgary is in the entire province is in a depression, but Calgary is hurting a lot because a lot of the head offices of the oil companies are in Calgary, so those guys are not working.
Ooh.
The houses there has a high foreclosure rate.
Oh.
Yeah, not even just mansions, just regular $400,000, $300,000. Because in Calgary, $300,000 house is not like spectacular. A lot of them are in foreclosures.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're talking the average medium $300,000 family home is going into foreclosure.
Yes.
So at 3%, let's say was 3. That's a $1,200, $1,300 mortgage with property tax. How can they not afford it?
Well, if you're not making 100,000 or nothing, like you went from making 120, 130,000 down to $18 an hour, 40,000 a year if you get overtime, if that.
Yeah.
So, and then you got kids, and a lot of tradesmen have. I don't want to say a lot of tradesmen, but I'm going to just say a lot of them have other kids. Just other, payments here, payments there.
Yeah.
Not necessarily living above your means, but life, child support, alimony.
Yeah.
Even if you didn't have that, you went from 140 down to maybe 40 at best, because a lot of high school kids or college kids have the security, cleaning jobs, maid jobs, fast food types of jobs, right? So, yeah.
Wow, that's...
Yeah.
Well, I just want to tell you really quick that I am pro-pipeline, and I love the pipeline, and I'll explain to you why.
Yeah.
Pipeline is crucial because there's already, 240 pipelines going across Canada already?
Yeah.
And I believe in pipeline because this pipeline will allow the other pipelines to get maintained and create maintenance for the other pipelines. And then this way, this new pipeline will take a little bit of alleviation off the other ones and create more of a balanced flow.
Yeah. I think that it was stopped because, this is my theory, and I'm pretty sure I'm right. The native people, right there, it went through because probably the government paid off a chief leader, is what I'm thinking. Okay. Paid off someone high enough, right? And that person didn't consult with the other people, right? So those people decided, you know what? You took the money and you run off with your family, because a lot of them don't take care of their bands. So we'll just go to a higher court and stop them from building until we get our money. Because it's not really about, I don't think it's about the environment. It's about paying them a fair share. Because if they started something like, you know what, if you start to build a pipeline, you got to hire 50% Aboriginal or 20% Aboriginal, whatever. They wouldn't do it. They wouldn't go for it because I don't want to say anything racist, but it's about getting a big check.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. It's about getting big. It's not because of the environment, this and that. It's about getting a big enough check to shut them up. Because I'm probably sure some other band leader got a check and didn't share enough with them.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm trying to say?
It's bureaucracy. It's behind the doors, but bureaucracy that happens that we don't get wind of, right?
Yeah, but that's my idea, because when I'm reading about it, I'm like, how is it we go through 15 years plus of negotiations, all of a sudden we didn't consult with the right people. So we're talking to the wrong people for 15 years, the wrong native person, and that native person took a huge check and probably didn't help this ban or this treaty or these people. It's all, it is bureaucracy. And what else did I want to say? See, about Vancouver, I don't know. Here's the thing. I don't understand why the Chinese people aren't buying in Alberta. Not that I don't want them to.
You know what it is? It has a lot to do with weather. It has a lot to do with it has a lot to do with the plummeting prices. A lot of the investors want to invest in places where the prices are more stable. Where in Alberta you get a crash every couple of years. Where,
okay, that's why.
Yeah,
That's
in Vancouver, they haven't had a crash since, I think, well, it wasn't really a crash in '07 and '08, but it dipped. And it kind of picked itself up really fast. And the same thing in Toronto. Toronto is an untapped market, so the average house before the foreign investors went in, the average house was still in and around 330,000. Now it's over $1 million, right? So,
yeah, and the average person in Toronto is maybe making $50,000-$60,000 a year.
Yeah, the Ontario and BC, which is really the most bizarre thing, those two provinces don't pay.
Exactly. So I don't understand. People in Vancouver are making less than I'm making, and you're sharing a 2-bedroom with 5 people or something like that.
Yeah.
Like my rent for a 2-bedroom is $1,000,
Mm-hmm.
and some people are like, I have a friend from Vancouver. She's like, she says a 2-bedroom is like $3,000 and $2,500, something outrageous. And I'm like, does anyone there make that? She's like, no, it's just for the lifestyle. What lifestyle? I don't know. But here in Alberta, it's like our jobs are union, regular things. It's just, and everyone's hurting. I think. From watching the news and talking to some few police officers I know, crime has gone up because people are hungry.
Yep.
People are hungry. A lot of break-ins, a lot of like thievery in Edmonton, Alberta, Edmonton and Calgary. I know that for sure. The crimes have gone up because people don't have it. And Yeah. So I have a finance diploma, so I kind of understand, but a little bit of what's going on. And for me, I would still say the best way to go is to get a trade, even though right now a lot of tradesmen are out of work. But a lot of my friends with degrees in accounting and finance and marketing are working the same jobs as me, waitressing, cleaning houses, temp agencies. We're all making maybe $15 to $20 an hour. Everyone has a diploma or a degree, so it just kind of it's the shit's tanks. So I'm kind of wrapping it all in one. The economy and housing kind of goes together because we don't have any foreign people messing with our housing. It's just jobs for us.
Mm-hmm.
Does it make sense? Like,
yeah,
that's kind of how ours. Yeah.
A couple of people said in the comment section. Couple of people in the comment section are saying the reason why Vancouver and Toronto is because they have international airports and you could fly direct to China.
Okay.
That could be one thing too. You know what I'm saying? That could be one thing too. Yeah. Like, I mean, there's a lot of a lot of things happening. So I got the article up right in front of me. City of Vancouver now defines $3,702 rent as affordable housing. They
should be ashamed of themselves.
Yep. And
they should be ashamed.
And they're making half the money you're making.
Exactly. Like, I'm making $3,000 a month as a single person, and I'm like, I'm struggling.
Mm-hmm.
I'm struggling. And they're not making that. Like, I know people from Vancouver who moved here, and they're like, oh, wow, we can go out to eat, and things are affordable.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, see, I don't get it. I don't like how our government wants to import more Chinese people.
Mm-hmm.
And I have friends who are very liberal. Like at the club, I don't know what it is. Girls get very liberal. You're being racist. Like, I was like, if they're coming in, 500,000 people are coming in to do what? To inflate the GDP or whatever. And then I'm going off. And then I was reading an article a friend of mine sent me about how the government is giving new interest-free loans to refugees or immigrants.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a refugee, if you're an immigrant, and you want to start your own business, you get an interest-free loan.
Yeah.
And if you're Canadian, you can't even get welfare because you have too much money. I had $2,000 in my account. I'm like, let me just try this out. Let's see if they give me an extra 1,000. They're like, nope, you got too much money. But if you wanted a loan, you and I would have to pay interest on the loan. If I wanted to have my own business, you'd have to pay interest on the loan. So they're giving this money to them. And then in Fort McMurray, I don't know if you've heard of Fort McMurray.
Yes, the Great Fires, Fire, yeah.
Yes, okay. So over there, I guess there was an MP who made a racist comment, but I guess there's a lot of Syrians there too. So they get an average of benefits, not including healthcare and dental, $50,000 for a family of 4. But most families are family of 8. So a family of 4 gets $50,000 in everything, in just housing, everything, not including dental and medical. And I'm looking at myself, I'm like, how are all these things going on? And when I watch the CBC or the National or this and that, they don't tell you that.
Yeah, well, of course not. Well, hold on. Before you continue, I have the article here. The article I brought up before. Canada wants more Chinese workers, students, and tourists, says Immigration Minister. And if you go down to the third part of the article, it says, Malcolm said visas have been increasing from China about 500,000 per year.
He has a lot. I don't know what's going on there in Ottawa. And nobody, I feel like no one in the news is calling out this nonsense except for Rebel media. Mm-hmm. But they're not on the news. They're not on there. They're on the internet.
But who the hell watches the news anyway on cable? I haven't had cable in like 15 years.
Exactly. I only watch the news on the internet anyways, and I watch the CTV and I watch the CBC. Now that I'm starting watching the CBC, because I usually watch more Fox, but I'm like, you know what? The economy is hurting. Let me see what's going on in my neck of the woods. So I started watching CBC, and I'm like, oh my God, this is CNN, but worse.
Yeah, so they show you
saying the weirdest shit.
Yeah, and they talk about, you say, I remember I was watching, it was the Canadian news, right? And they were showing some lamb, and the baby lamb was born, and they managed to save its life. And they were feeding it, hand bottle feeding the lamb and petting it. I'm like, this is not news!
This is really weird shit. Like, they need to come to Edmonton and see how many homeless people are sleeping on White Avenue.
Okay, can you do me a favor? Can you do me a favor and do some Mike Martin's channel reviews for me on the streets with your camera?
I should do that.
You don't have to. You don't have to show your face, and I could just rip the video off YouTube if you don't want to be known. You know, you don't have to show. You could just talk. You could be anonymous. It doesn't have to jeopardize your work or what's happening. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, look, I just talk to people about what's going on, like why are you sleeping on the streets or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yes, please.
Because there's a lot of people sleeping on the streets. There's a lot of people, and to be honest, I don't want to say. I don't even know what the percentage is. A lot of them happen to be Aboriginal. Mm-hmm. On occasion, you'll see somebody standing out there. This one guy I was introduced to by my friend who was a taxi driver. Mm-hmm. This guy standing out there, again, is a journeyman welder. Okay? Wow. Journeyman welder and a veteran. He served, I don't know, not enough for the pension, but 10-year veteran. He's 40-something years old, 42, 43 years old. He's standing out there with a sign saying, "Feed me." And I'm so sad because that week that he was standing out there when my taxi driver introduced me to him, mm-hmm. that week Trudeau came to Edmonton and he was at Grant, one of those what the hell, the University of McEwen University, and people were asking him the dumbest questions.
Yeah, like
the dumbest questions,
like people Toba.
He answered some weird shit, but nobody asked him something like, hey, we're Canadian, a lot of us are sleeping on the streets, can you put us up in a hotel as well? Mm-hmm. Put us up as in a hotel. But you won't I don't know why you won't put our people first. This is why Trump is going to win. Doesn't matter what porn star he does. I don't care what prostitute comes out with Trump. He's going to win because he's putting his people first.
Exactly. Thank you very much.
You know what? Sorry, have a good day. I'm going to make sure I get that video done. I'm going to brainstorm, and I'm probably going to go down White Ave because that's where a lot of people sleep, outside.
I got the article open. Hold on. I got the article open. Not going to happen. Councillors vote against homeless hub in old remand center. Endorse new south side work. So this is from the Edmonton Journal. There's Edmonton's homeless population has spread far beyond the inner city, with dozens of new people now camping in Mill Creek Ravine or staying under bridges in Old Strathcona and South River. So this is a big deal, and the housing crisis ties into homelessness. So remember when I talk about on my show how it's not just if you rent. It's not if you own. It's not if you're waiting. It's on the sidelines to own. It affects homeless. It affects every human being. You know, it affects every single human being. I'm getting a poor connection signal here. I'm not sure why. Why am I getting poor connection signal? What's wrong? I paid for the internet. So you're breaking up. So, okay, we'll let you go. We'll let you go for now. I'm getting a poor connection signal. We'll let you go for now. And we will keep in touch. And I'll have you on maybe if you want to come on Mike in the Night.
Sure.
Yeah, we'll have you on Mike in the Night and we'll talk more, okay? Okay, so I'm getting a really bad poor connection signal, and the Wi-Fi router is like 2 feet away, and it's giving me a poor connection signal. I don't know why. You know, it's understandable. You know, when you pay the bill and it doesn't work, and I can understand when you don't pay the bill, it doesn't work. Pees me right off. So we got that was in the comments, and she is. I want to thank her for calling in. She's always commenting on my show all the time. She's been following me for ages, and I'm very happy to have her on the show tonight. And I'm going to have her on more. So there she is there. And she asked me a lot of questions. She's wants to sell from home, wants to get some sort of business going. She wants to get stuff going. So that was a really good call from her. Guys, if you missed this call, scroll back in the show. This is really good. This is boots on the ground and what's happening in Edmonton right now. It's really bad, guys. The homelessness, the amount of there she is, working on it in the comment section. So I have added her to my speed dial on Skype, and we will be talking to her more often. I want to have her on Mike in the Night this Saturday to give her outlook on outside the house. We were talking about the housing market and rent, but now we want to look outside the housing market and maybe get her to discuss. She's got a degree in finance, I think it is, and it would be good to have her on the show. Okay, someone's saying it's worse than Vancouver. Oh, yeah. Edmonton is Deadmonton from what everyone's saying in the comment section. It's pretty bad. So thank you, working on it, for being on the show, and you will be back 1,000,000%. Okay, so we're going to get Steve the Plumber on. He's got a story and a half to tell us. So hopefully he's okay to talk now. I hope he didn't get arrested. But let me find him here on my contact section. I really hope he didn't get arrested. So let's find here. Let's go here, and let's go here, and let's put it on speaker. Hopefully he's okay. Okay, he will call me in 2 minutes. I just got the message in the comment section. So he's got a story that he wants to share with us, and I'm going to bring this back up. I'm going to bring this up all night in your face. Seattle home prices dropped $70,000 in 3 months as market continues to cool. No, it's crashing. 70 large in 3 months? The Lost Canuck ears are clear. Steve the Plumber called me in 2 minutes. Anyone know if becoming a long haul trucker is a good idea with current economic situation? Okay, here's the deal, guys. Here's the deal. Long-haul trucking is really good. You want to check out Walking Journey. His channel is here somewhere. Oh, God, where is he? Walking Journey, guys. Check out type in Walking Journey on YouTube. He just got a long-haul trucking job. And he's doing that right now, guys. So you guys might want to check him out. Here he is. This is his main channel. And he's got a job trucking right now. And nothing to lose. Trolls taking down Walking Journey. Finally off my truck driving job. So he's doing long haul, or he's getting into long haul driving. So, yeah, someone's saying Walking Journey is having a rough go. Yeah, I watched his last video. Poor guy, he's having a tough time. Yeah, so I'm going to be very interested to see what's going to happen in the next 5 to 6 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, really interested to see how things play out and see going from where things got the worst and trailing them backwards, not forward in time, but back to actually trail out where the mistakes were made. We know, everybody watching this know where the mistakes have been made. Everybody understands that none of this is normal. And instead of crashing the market or fixing the market, instead of letting the market crash in a natural disaster, they fuel it with low interest rates. They fuel it with foreign money. They fuel it, and people need to understand. I'm not attacking the Chinese, right? It's just what is happening and what is trending. People need to know that. You know what I'm saying? My ex-girlfriend was, 2 ex-girlfriends were both Chinese. One was from mainland China and the other one's from Hong Kong. It's not attacking the Chinese. If it was the Portuguese, you know, if it was the Portuguese, I would say the Portuguese are doing this. If it was the Italians, I'd say the Italians are doing this again. What are the Italians up to? But it's not. You know what I'm saying? We need to call a spade, and we need to be upfront and find out what is going on. I know a lot of Chinese people that have visited me at my store, have come to see me, that are very upset that this is happening, and Stevie Wonder.
Hey, what's going on, Mike?
You okay, buddy? You sound sick.
No, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, I just long days, my friend. Long days.
Yeah, you sound pretty worn out. Okay, before you tell us your story, I'm going to say this again, and I want to hear a reaction. You know I've been covering Seattle forever, right?
Yes.
Seattle home prices dropped $70,000 in 3 months as market continues to cool.
Yeah, and look what's happening in Vancouver.
Oh, yeah, I had that up yesterday. I put the article up yesterday from Better Dwelling. Was it a $26,000 drop or $28,000?
Yeah, something along those lines, and I think Toronto was about half that from what I scanned and read. But yeah, everything. It's amazing how you and I and other people were talking about this, but organized real estate refuses to actually come to fruition and really just come to their senses, and it's actually mind-boggling.
Well, I have the article open. Which one do you want to go over? You said Toronto Real Estate Board reminds agents they shouldn't give fake sold info. Is that the one you were talking about earlier today to me?
No, that actually just came out recently, and I think that's absolutely hilarious. Single-handedly, what the Toronto Real Estate Board did, if we peel back the layers, is they single-handedly confirmed what I have, basically been under the impression and borderline had no choice but to believe that their members, including their numbers, are the furthest thing from being reliable.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah. It's like trying to get information. Like, I mean, well, no. I'd rather try and decipher the hieroglyphics myself and figure it out.
Yeah, I don't care who it is, and you know what? Make no mistake, Mr. Al Sinclair, that grease ball is going to go on CP24 tomorrow, and everything's going to be business as usual, as he says.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they're all a bunch of fakes and frauds.
Dude, it's disgusting.
And I would not go ahead and use the word fraud unless there was grounds to say so. In order for a fraud to take place, and I'm not a lawyer, but anybody can look this up, you need deceit and deprivation. And organized real estate has been doing that for very, very long.
Imagine, but how can, you see, in the U.S., straight up, they posted $70,000 in 3 months, market continues to cool. They posted right away. Why is it that you have to pull teeth to get any information from our media watchdog in Canada?
Well, it's interesting. I didn't see anybody but BNN Bloomberg go ahead and post the job losses for August. And by the way, Ontario led the way by example, for lack of a better term.
That's correct. That's correct. I'm going to pull up Canada job losses right now. Continue speaking.
Yeah, do that, Mike, because it's actually quite funny. And anybody who wants to construe that information or that data that Mike is pulling up right now, I believe it was 50,000 something jobs. Anyways, anybody who wants to say, oh, that's part-time work, the majority of it is part-time, it's not a big deal, so on and so forth. All right, let's spin the table for a second. How many part-time jobs do you need to have to make up one full-time job?
2.
Exactly. So just because somebody isn't gainfully employed on a full-time basis at one company, one place of business, doesn't mean that they're not fully and gainfully employed by way of 2 part-time jobs. And you can, dollars to donuts, that those part-time jobs absolutely made up a large portion of people working 2 jobs.
Well, remember, they're in a very precarious tax bracket, so they actually contribute more than a lot of other people would.
Sure, I could see that. Yeah, absolutely.
Because remember, that is private sector jobs, which are crucial.
Yes.
I don't give a crap about public service jobs. I don't give a crap. It's the private sector jobs.
Yep.
Okay. I just wanted to bring up real quick. I had working on it on the show. I don't know if you heard her from Edmonton.
I caught the tail end of it.
And she was telling me a lot of Red Seal plumbers, Red Seal welders, Red Seal have lost those jobs. And she said over 10,000 in Alberta have lost their jobs. 10,000 tradesmen have lost their jobs.
Oh, I believe it, because in Ontario, the Greater Toronto area, it's happening. And a friend of mine who's out in BC has his own business, and things are really slowing down there. From a service standpoint, yeah, everybody needs a plumber, everybody needs an HVAC guy. But from a retrofit, new build, renovation standpoint, everything has stopped. And it's definitely not a good situation. And Mario DeSantis will tell you what's going on within the new home construction. He's closer to it than I am. I haven't been in new home construction in probably about 15 years. But I know a lot of those guys that are, subdivision plumbers and HVAC guys, and they don't have any work. And once upon a time, all that subdivision work, especially from a plumbing standpoint, was all piecework.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
It's now all gone by hour.
Oh, piecework was better.
Oh God, piecework. I remember 15 years ago, you could go in and rough a house, in one day and make $500 or $600.
Yeah.
15 years ago, that was good money, Mike.
Yeah, I know it was. You don't have to tell me what $500 was 15 years ago. Okay.
Yeah.
I have a question in the comments here. Someone was asking 51K jobs. Where was it? Kevin Thompson brought up, would we lose a lot more jobs if Canada blows NAFTA?
If Canada blows NAFTA, let's put it this way. I heard, I think it was tonight, I heard that 1 million jobs would evaporate if NAFTA goes to shit.
But 1 million jobs, we're talking private sector jobs, right?
Yes, of course.
That's a very huge deal. 1 million jobs not only would put a nail in our coffin, but I think it would bury us for anywhere from a good 5 to 15 years.
Mike, the only way that we would ever get out of that is if we actually went ahead and made a NAFTA deal. Okay? And we actually conceded to the situation. So 2 things need to happen. One, Trump, for example, if NAFTA went by the wayside and we didn't get a deal, one of two things needs to happen. First things first, Donald Trump obviously can't get reelected. If he does get reelected, that's not a very good thing for Canada. However, we need to get the right person leading Canada, and leading Canada by way of example, not by way of silver spoon or trust fund or his teacher's college degree. We need somebody to represent Canada and the largest company within Canada properly, and someone that is actually qualified to do so. So 2019 is going to be a big year, and if NAFTA goes by the wayside, then you know what? We know exactly who it is to blame, and it's not Donald Trump.
No. Donald Trump is doing his job.
Regrettably, I have to admit he's doing his job, and he's doing a very good job.
Yep.
With respect to if the tables were turned and I was American, I would look at the situation as, yes, he's doing his job. He's doing what he said he was going to do. His policies and procedures, I don't exactly agree with on every single level. But he's not going to give it to us. It's not going to be a cakewalk.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, I said it once before and I'll say it again. If Trudeau doesn't want to put on his big boy pants and go to court with Omar Gadar and just simply hands over $5 million, I'm pretty sure you can make some concessions with the United States, especially the president, regarding NAFTA.
Ooh. Yeah, because remember, there's also, people are not taking into consideration the amount of derivatives that are happening within NAFTA, the amount of buy now, pay laters that are happening in NAFTA, a lot of energy that's being traded through NAFTA. Energy is a big deal, right? And America does stand to lose a bit, because if they start lacking in energy, it's very hard being a superpower when you don't have the energy to run it, right? So there's a lot at stake for America too, losing Canada. So I think Trump's going to change things a little bit in a way to make it more kindergarten-like, to make it go through easier and be a potential deal for both ends.
I think so. But he needs, he really needs to feel like he came out on top. And I think Canada, as much as Trudeau is a feminist, and all those wonderful things that these liberals like to call him, and his nice hair and whatnot, I really think he needs to go at NAFTA and give direction to Freeland to really pump Donald Trump's tires, and go at this with diplomacy. Because if he starts talking trash again, just because he thinks the big boy's up in the sky in his plane and he can't listen or hear what he has to say, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
This two-faced tongue-in-cheek thing, you can't do that to a powerhouse businessman.
No, definitely not. He's seen a lot of bad deals in his time. And when I went to one of Donald Trump's power purchasing seminars down in Fort Lauderdale, and I met Donald Trump. He's actually a pretty big man. He's got big hands. He's a big guy. And he told me, and what he told us at the seminar was, the best deal you'll ever make in your life is the one you don't make at all.
Absolutely. And he doesn't have to make a deal he doesn't have to make a NAFTA deal. It will hurt his people and his country. It absolutely will. But it will impoverish, starve, and basically collapse our economy in Canada. And they have the resources and whatnot to basically see us bleed from every orifice, and they will watch and wait. Donald Trump needs to be taken seriously, and I do believe he will win the midterm elections. And I'm sorry, Trudeau needs to understand that Donald Trump is a big bad mother, you know what, and he will eat your goddamn lunch.
Yep. that's correct. He'll take your lunch money. You'll take your lunch money, and that's what's happening right now. And you know, Canada had a chance to fix this. Canada really had a chance to fix this. Instead of us selling out to the highest bidders, instead of selling us out, you know, selling out our mines, our public land, our parks, selling out to the highest bidders and investors, instead of keeping our wealth within the country and actually have a healthy middle class. The middle class is bleeding out of the ears. People can't afford to pay rent. People can't afford to live. And people are working 2-3 jobs just to cover their nut, and they're living below their means. There's a huge percentage of Canadians that are living below the poverty line right now. Homelessness is ramping. Homelessness is out of control. Why did we not take the horse by the reins 3-4 years ago and start taking care of our own, and start propping up our own, and start preparing our own people to take Canada into the new millennium? Why is this happening? Why did we sell out? Why is everything so unaffordable? Why is every Canadian working middle class, or not even middle class, working poor? Why are they suffering so much? Why are they making us suffer?
Well, I wish I had the answer to that question. I don't know. I think there's some underlining issues and second and hidden agendas within Canada. However, all signs point that NAFTA may not happen. We may not get a deal. And I mean, it's one of those things where we have, you know, two situations on our hand. We have autos and we have farmers, and especially with a heavy focus on our dairy.
Dairy, yes.
And you know what? I'm sorry. Regrettably, Donald Trump wants our milk, and he will get it come hell or high water.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. 1,000,000%. Powdered milk, too. All kinds of forms of milk is on the table right now. And I'm very concerned, Steve. I'm very concerned with the well-being of the Canadian and where Canada is headed in the next decade. I mean, this decade's coming. We're in 18. It's going to be 2019 before you know it, right, Steve? This decade's coming to an end. You know, and people are not. We're not taking advantage of the opportunities that we could have had, but we sold them out to the highest bidders. Now, okay. Let me ask you this. What is happening now? I wanted to bring this up with you earlier. What is happening now with the whole media not covering any of the... We talked about this. We touched about this last week. Why do we have to pull teeth to get the media to talk to us? What's going on with the media? I had what's her name on here? Living Wild, or like, she was on the show. She's in Edmonton, and she's telling me how the state of decay of the province is phenomenal. And then when people went to go see Trudeau in Edmonton, they were asking him the dumbest questions. What's the state of decay right now in Ontario? What are you seeing there right now on the ground? Is it as bad as Alberta, or I'm seeing a lot of people leaving the big cities right now to move to the outskirts of Toronto or outskirts of the GTA. What's happening? What's the state of decay? What's happening? Okay, let's go with the first question. What's media doing about it, and why aren't they reporting?
Well, it's almost like they have some sort of a gag order by way of government direction, and also, regrettably, organized real estate. Because, I mean, Better Dwelling can't go on. And, by the way, Better Dwelling has covered and basically captivated an audience like no tomorrow. They went from being nothing to literally a very, very good, reliable source for housing data, contrary to what organized real estate says.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That said, I don't think we know why, and the reason why I say that is because there's so many variables that could be quite feasible and possible. However, one of those is probably the right reason. I mean, no one wants to. The government doesn't want people to, develop mass panic and everything else. They don't want people to start all of a sudden putting their houses on the market in droves, or subsequently going to the bank and making mass withdrawals and keeping their money underneath their mattress and everything else. There has to be some sort of confidence within the economy. Call it a newfound religion.
Well, there's a lack of confidence right now in the middle class. In the middle class right now, I have an article up here. Lack of confidence in the middle class, and people aren't spending as much.
That's right, and the writing's been on the wall for so long, and I think this gag order that I'm kind of sort of making reference to, again, for lack of a better term, or whatever it may be, I think it's all coming to fruition, because if you went on BNN Bloomberg right now, and I was on there today, immediately, that comes up in terms of the confidence and everything else. Canada plans competitiveness boost, but no broad tax cut. And then you have, and then there's a picture of, trust fund silver spoon Bill Marneau there. And that's all in response to some big names coming out today and virtually stating that we need to do something regarding our competitiveness and our economy, because we're screwed.
Well, let me ask this. Let me break down the second question now. Do you see I read an article that was sent to me by Owen, our friend Owen, sent me an article about the rate or the amount of people that are leaving the big cities and fleeing to Niagara Falls and Cayuga or wherever they're going. What's the state of decay on that? Are you noticing that on the ground? Are you noticing the patterns of shifting of intermigration in the province?
Yeah. So what's happening here is people are being forced into making decisions based on the future and survival. They see it subconsciously or consciously that the economy is in a downward spiral, especially housing. So people naturally are going to start to migrate to where their sense of comfort and affordability lies, and it isn't in the GTA. It isn't in Toronto.
That's correct. Okay. Third part of the question. What's the state of decay with jobs? I know you go to job sites and you know what's happening with builders and stuff. What can you give us insight? What do you know, without mentioning names, what's really happening on the inside levels of all these cranes? All these cranes, 500 cranes across the GTA, and all these breaking ground, all these jobs. What's happening in reality? What's happening with all these 500 cranes in the GTA?
Well, I think it's a situation where builders have already acquired the land. They have gone ahead and taken people's money and done what they needed to do. And the boom with respect to boxes in the sky or condos is typically the only safe bet that a builder, in terms of his core business of building residential homes, if you will, whether they're detached, semi-detached, or boxes in the sky. If I was a builder, if you were a builder, we're not building multi-million-dollar homes. We're not building homes that are any more than $750,000, $800,000. In actual fact, we want to build a shit ton of homes that are approximately $500,000 to $700,000, because you need two people or one person, whatever you want to call it, to have the capacity under the age of 40 or 45 for that fact to be able to put a first charge mortgage on there and actually be able to move in.
Okay. I got an article up here. Consumer confidence slumps after taking a hit from interest rates and political instability.
Well, at this point, there's instability lack of confidence. There's all kinds of stuff. However, the big thing is what's happening in the U.S. If we don't get NAFTA, there's 1 million jobs at stake. 1 million jobs at stake. Now, at the same point in time, there was a study that just came out today. It was on BNN Bloomberg. 630 or 635,000 Canadian jobs are at risk, with respect to the U.S. tax overhaul.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, Bill Murrow is going to come on there and try to give us some sort of lip service and tell us that he's going to work on competitiveness and this and that, so on and so forth. Well, you know what? I got news for everybody, including Bill Murrow there. The only way we're going to be competitive and the only way that consumer confidence will come back is you don't have to increase wages. Wages are just fine where they are. What you have to do is you have to lower taxes.
That's right.
People are impoverished by way of taxation. It's not because they only make $15 or $18 or $20 an hour. It's how much Uncle Sam takes off them every single day.
Yeah, Steve, it's like when I say, people in Portland, Oregon make more than we do. They're like, no, they're not. Their minimum wage is like $8 an hour. Yeah, that's fantastic. Why? It's a work-free state, and they're not taxed there.
Exactly. And then people have the audacity to go ahead and protest when Dougie Ford goes ahead and uses the tools that he's given by way of election to go ahead and basically put that non-withstanding clause into effect and do what needs to be done. Those jobs, how much money is Toronto actually saving by not having to go ahead and pay all those big salaries? Those people do nothing.
Yeah.
We're a bunch of bleeding hearts, Mike.
There's a section on the finances of Toronto. I was looking through the finances and expenditures and, the cost of operating in Toronto, right? There's a small section there that says salaries under $75,000 not listed, like not listed or not, like they're not broken down. And it just breaks it down to a lump sum of like $440 million. So they don't even break down the police, which is broken down. The biggest cost Toronto has in the GTA is the police force. It's the most expensive, you know what I'm saying? And everything else gets, you know what I'm saying? The funding gets distributed and allocated through the city. Then there's a section there that nobody knows what it's for, but people under $75,000 making under $75,000. And there's hundreds of millions of dollars allocated to that fund, and nobody knows where it's going. It's not going to fire departments. It's not going to the police. It's not going... You know what I'm saying, Steve?
I know exactly what you're saying. And it's actually quite funny of all these people protesting, and I can't label them as bottom feeders or, elitists or middle class, because you don't know who they are. You don't know the kind of money they're making or whatnot.
Yeah.
All you can say is they are, they're more than likely liberal or NDP activists, and they hate Doug Ford because he won. And he won by a landslide. And right now, what he's doing is he's doing what he was elected to do.
That's right.
This is not a political move.
Exactly. No.
Okay?
No,
this is not year 3.5 of his term. This is year 1.
Yeah. And he's caused a lot of turbulence. I had someone on last week from Australia that was telling me about the Trump bump turbulence now in Australia. And a lot of these countries, should be depending on themselves and no other country, right? Canada has the resources. Can I ask you, Steve, why does Canada not become a Cuba and just not isolate itself, but generate its own food, make its own cars, do its own thing, make its own clothing, create jobs in those sectors, and just buy from your local neighbor? Remember Ronald Reagan? When Ronald Reagan said, buy a car from your neighbor and keep it, the auto sector just overnight completely took a whole new look and tripled their profits literally overnight. Why don't we do that here in Canada?
Because we're not the U.S. We can't do that. If we do that, we go to war with the U.S. Think about it, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
It just wouldn't fly. Those days are over. As much as it makes total perfect sense in the grand scheme of things, it's too far gone. It's way too far gone, Mike. I wish I had a better answer for you, but I don't. I mean, maybe somebody in the comment section can chime in, but I mean, for what it's worth, we need to focus on the now. We can't backtrack and try to make Canada great again.
Mm-hmm. Because we might not have a night, we might not have a choice. If we got to pull up our socks and look sharp, if we don't start looking outside alternative options outside of NAFTA and losing 1 million jobs and getting ourselves back in track within 5 to 10 years, we're in a lot of trouble if we don't start looking at past historical events that happened that have shaped and built and molded economies into a positive light.
I absolutely wholeheartedly agree with you. But the easy way, okay, and the most reasonable way is to make a deal with Donald Trump on NAFTA. Because we can try and do all those wonderful things that you just made mention of. And even if we did 50% of those things, we're still royally screwed because we depend on our neighbors for those 1 million jobs. Right now, in addition to those 1 million jobs, as I just said before, there's 650,000 additional jobs from what I'm reading at stake due to the tax overhaul in the U.S. I mean, we can sit here and we can talk about...
Did you read that tax over? Did you read